Welcome back to Built to Ship, the podcast where we go behind the scenes with AI leaders, founders, shipping real AI products into the world. And today I'm excited to be joined by Viktor, co-founder and CEO of HirePilot, an AI-powered job search assistant that helps job seekers apply faster, track applications, and reach decision makers through smart automation and personalized outreach. Viktor, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Tyler, and thank you guys for having me. Appreciate the conversation that we will have. Hope it will help everyone, and we'll be happy to answer all of your questions.
Amazing. Well, yeah, why don't we get started with background? What were you doing before HirePilot, and what gave you the idea?
First of all, I have founder slash entrepreneurial experience. When I was, I think, 18 years old, I founded my first venture called Robo Kids. It was academy for kids, and we educated them of robotics and programming with STEM technology, science, technology, engineering, and math. And the kids were building the robots, and after that programmed them so robots can fight, can play, can move around, and that helped develop essential skills for kids, and doing fun for them alongside with education, and that points connected. So kids were very interested in education and in general in studying something new. After that, I was a chief executive officer in another educational technology venture, and we were creating a SaaS platform for entrepreneurs, where we created programs with famous Ukrainian entrepreneurs to help small businesses thrive with materials about marketing, finance, team building, and other essential topics that helped entrepreneurs thrive. And after that, I had my own company called Code Squad. We created mobile applications and web applications for external clients. And long story short, after that, I moved into United States, and I saw a huge discrepancy and huge pain point on job seeking market, where applicants and job seekers could send into the void a lot of applications, didn't hear feedback. They were doing a lot of manual stuff. And with our venture, HirePilot.com, we help job seekers automate most tedious tasks. But most importantly, we create for them structure from point A to point Z to land in their job. And we help them with our internal features, with our extension that helps them after fill applications in a couple of clicks. After that, control all applications inside of one place in dashboard. And also, one of the most important feature, we help them directly from our platform find potential decision makers for positions, and reach out to them with personal messages, with personal ideas that you send to them. And it helps stood out for the job seekers, and in final results to land the job. So
Amazing.
long story short.
Amazing. I might kind of talk from a soapbox for a second, because I actually really resonate with this pain, with this problem, actually from the other side as well. So, been there with applying for hundreds of jobs and having to keep track of all those applications. That's a lot of work. I think on the other side too, which makes this really a great idea and really ripe for disruption, is that even on the company side, they're not happy with the fact that they have to sift through hundreds of applications that might not be personalized, might not be correct. And so it's an interesting space where both sides, people are frustrated with the job application process. They don't like that they don't hear back. They have to spend a bunch of time submitting applications. And it's not like the other side is happy with the process either. So it sounds like there's a pain you could be solving on both sides, which is a great place to be, and a great timing with AI and how much you can improve things with automation. That being said, I think there is a bit of a risk where if you automate too much, then you just increase that sort of like spam or that list of resumes that a company needs to read through. I'm sure you guys have thought of that. How do you kind of find the middle ground when using automation and AI to personalize something and to automate it without also like increasing volume or being untargeted?
And it's one of the most important points that we aim to solve in our platform. In HirePilot, AI is embedded directly into job seeking workflow rather than being a standalone feature. We use AI to analyze job postings, extract signals about what hiring managers actually care about, and tailor outreach accordingly. So when user starting use our system, we ask them to upload their resume inside of our platform, and based on resume, based on position to which the job seeker applied, we connect it and extract the most important points from experience of job seekers, from the position, and also we added on the top, like the third very important point, the things about potential decision maker that we can find from free resources. So we combine everything of that into personalized outreaches to decision makers that increases the chances to be seen, first of all, and secondly, of course, like increase personality, because with this process, it's exactly personal approach. You don't apply automatically to 1,000 of jobs and just don't like doing nothing. You consistently analyze the job boards. After that, you decide to which applications you apply. Our extension helps you to apply to chosen positions, not just to send automatically, as I said, like thousands of applications to some positions, but you choose that. You are that person who ruled the process, and our system as AI tool is like Copilot that helps you. Also on the user side, AI helps, as I said, generate personalized messages, improve resumes, and like we will have that feature also in the future, because right now we're focusing on our initial product, and also guide candidates toward higher leverage actions instead of mass applying. And internally we use multiple AI agents for different roles: content generation, relevance scoring, user guidance, and connect them through structured pipeline inside of their dashboard. So as I said, we treat that as system, as Copilot for our users, not like a robot who applies automatically for everything without any results. It's personalized instrument that increase capacity and capability of job seeker.
That's great. So it sounds like you're automating the parts that are the busy work, like researching, like this
boring
company.
Part.
Yeah, the boring part, looking up information about the hiring manager. Like that's a lot of time, to do as an individual. Of course, you want to go above and beyond, but if you need to apply to 50 or 100 jobs to even get a chance, you don't have the time to do that, like that research yourself, but you can use that information that HirePilot gives you to decide, is this job right for me? Do I need to apply or not? And at the end of the day, it sounds like you might even reduce the amount of sort of mass submissions of resumes, which is great. You mentioned a lot of different AI features. Let's dive into that. At the high level, how do you architect your AI system? Sounds like number one, it's embedded throughout the whole platform. That's great. Do you have like different agents with different sort of specific capabilities? And if so, how are you orchestrating across all of them? Do the users interact directly with the agents, or is it kind of happening in the background and they may not even know that AI is assisting them?
As I said, first of all, important that AI agents for different roles, we use the systems that helps, for example, to a person generate some content for the decision makers so they can present themselves um, accordingly. That will really resonate because it was extracted from the position, it was extracted from the experience of job seeker and connected in like one relevant, really like informative message to them. Of course, as I said, relevant scoring, user guidance, because we have some onboarding stuff that help job seekers also they do their first steps on our platform, and we connect them through structured pipelines. Some of those agents run inside we connect ChatGPT, we connect like OpenAI inside of our platform, we connect another LLMs, and others are triggered via automation depending on latency and control requirements. And the key design choice is that AI assists decisions but doesn't blindly automate everything. So the user always stays in control. And overall, AI in HirePilot, as I also mentioned, is there to reduce noise but increase signal and make job searching feel more strategic instead of overwhelming. So it's our main task to help people, but not change them for the robots.
Makes sense. And when it comes to, I love that you have that pattern or that design of it's a co-pilot. The user approves the information that it hands over. So the AI is saving time for the user, but the user has the final say. From an actual UX perspective, how do they do that? Is it a chat interface with each of these agents? Like there's the onboarding one, there's the customization for hiring manager. Are your users talking to a conversational agent? Or is the AI doing research in the background? You structure it into 3 options and you put it in a UI and they click a checkbox. I think we're still figuring out in the industry what's the best interaction pattern with AI. And I think different situations have different ideal interaction patterns. So yeah, what have you found to be the most successful?
Yeah, you mentioned one of the point. It works on the background, so we show into the user final result on UI on their job card. So when user apply through our extension that also use AI model to extract information from your resume to fill that forms. On LinkedIn, we also launched a couple of weeks ago Indeed, and right now working on My Workday and Glassdoor. So when you go inside of inside of job boards, you open our extension and it already connects with the backend and helps extract from your resume the important information, sometimes even transform that information to fill the necessary forms. So it helps, as I said, to make that process faster and much more efficiently with AI. After that, our extension catch that application when you applied, and even if you're not applied or you just opened the application, it saves it in draft. But if you applied, it goes straight forward to your dashboard. So I had just a couple of weeks ago the case where the recruiter sent to me an invitation to interview, but I went to my personal card in HirePilot to open the position by clicking the link, because we also save the links where you applied. And I figured out that link doesn't work. So I also wrote a post about that on my LinkedIn. You can feel awkward to write to recruiter to ask, can you please share details about the position? The recruiter can perceive your request that as you apply for
a bunch
multi jobs, and and it's like that game, but nothing strange in your question, but it can perceive a strange question. Instead, we save in that position, we save in with using AI, we save description, we save, if available, salary, we save the like everything that were on the job post on your personal car. So you have link, you have also description if link is not available. And that
well, that's great also, because sometimes they change the job description slightly, or they change the salary later, and then you can have also like a receipt of, hey, this is what it was when I applied. When it comes to the AI systems, it sounds like most of it's working in the background.
Yes.
And you have structured probably like middleware or other types of traditional software to like take the fields and store them in a database. It's not like it's all kept in memory with AI. How do you actually manage at a high level, like the handoff between these agents, et cetera? Are you using a framework like LangChain or something like that? Have you built something in-house? Do you use some sort of library or SDK?
We like mostly we like, it's not the big deal, big secret. Of course, some information we save on our database, and our AI models work with that database. But to interconnect everything, we use Zapier. It's like not something that it's really common, and like I like this this automation tool because it helps to connect a lot of APIs, a lot of everything, and it helps reduce friction inside of your system. Of course, much more deeper, my co-founder, my partner, and CTO can answer on that questions. But it really, on high level, it connects, as I said, like some information from database. But we also use automation tool inside, of course, to interconnect everything, and it helps us, to, of course, we aim for speed inside of our platform, but at the same time, we need to save quality of inputs and outputs that our systems like receive and give to the users. So
that makes sense.
It's very important for us as well.
Great. Well, before we start to wrap up, I have one more question just around, what's the volume of interactions that these agents are doing, like per month? Like how many runs of all the agents combined roughly would you say there are? And how do you keep track of that in production? Do you have just raw logs that you have to read through? Do you depend on customer feedback? Do you have an analytics tool that aggregates information? I think a lot of companies are now getting to this point where they have AI in production like you guys do. And now people are trying to figure out, a year ago it was, how do we get AI into production? Now it's how do we keep track of how it's doing? What's the volume of interactions with your agents, whether it's directly with the user in the background, approximately a month, and how do you keep track of all that and make sure it's working well?
Right now, what I can say, our product on MVP stage, we already launched, and we already testing hypothesis with our users. I'm the apologist of that. When you as a founder have to be with your users, speak with them, you'll like spend your time, invest your time to ask them right questions about your service. And right now we have like just couple, like it's not a just, I think it's a good result for us, but couple of thousands of free users that use our platform. And also it's like thousands, dozens even of thousands interactions with our systems right now. And we really hope that it will be scaled, like we do everything of that. And even that results, I'm really happy we achieved without paid advertisement right now. We use just organic traffic. It's like SEO instruments, content creation, Reddit, Medium, a lot of content that we created inside of our team, and it pays off. As like to answer also your question, we use internally. I'm not sure that I can share this information. My CTO, like my co-founder, will angry, but I'm not sure that it's secret. We use Zoho CRM with Google Analytics. We set up triggers that works when users do some actions inside of in our systems with our AI models as well, that works. So when users doing something, we always without some personal data that we extract from their services and their another life and everything, but we extract just information what they are doing inside of our system, and we track that with triggers in our CRM system, and that triggers help us to analyze where they had some bugs or where they had some stoppings, and we reach out to them, we speak with them, and of course we work to achieve their goals, because our goal is achieve our users' goal.
That's great. So it sounds like you're using Google Analytics with some triggers of key events. Maybe it's like, did they fill out the form, or did they proceed to the next step? If you see a drop off or an alert, you can go and just ask them directly. That's super helpful. I think everyone's still figuring out what's the best tooling, what's the best setup for tracking agents in production. So thanks.
My one last point for that: you don't need to be complicated when you start launching your product. You need to, you need to receive first results, first traction on your product, and up to that scale, not like opposite thing.
Yeah, and even in the early stage, tracking is important. You need to have metrics to gauge that traction or that early success, but you don't need 50 metrics. You might need a couple, and then those are the triggers that say go talk to the customer or go make a change to a product.
Exactly.
Well, I could go on. I've loved this conversation, but we're at time. I want to put HirePilot's website on the screen. It's hirepilot.co. Share with the folks who should be checking out your website. How can they get in contact? How can they follow along? You mentioned content that you guys produce, etc. And who's the right person to be signing up?
You can go on the also you have the bottom start for free, so you will go to the to our platform, and it will help you to sign and try to start using our platform. But if you want our social media and everything about us, you can go to the bottom of the website, and there will be links for our LinkedIn, for our Reddit, for our product hunt, and everything that we are doing. So you can connect with us with any available resources. Also, my personal email, Viktor@HirePilot.co. No secrets. Just write to me. I will hear you. I will jump with you on the call. You as the user, as like the most important person to me when I'm speaking with you, because your feedback, it's like your success that help us also succeed.
Definitely. Amazing. Well, thanks again, Viktor, for taking the time. Just as a reminder to everyone, HirePilot.co, or follow along on their socials and reach out to Viktor directly. Very generous of you to have your email inbox open. Appreciate you taking the time, and looking forward to following along with HirePilot's growth and all the new features that you're working on launching.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye now.